Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's maternal deprivation. Once again, as I've said, maternal deprivation refers to the emotional and intellectual consequences of separation between a child and their what? Mothers, or their mother or mothers. Maternal deprivation is a scientific term summarizing the early work of psychiatrist and the psychoanalyst John Bower, John Bowlby, on the effects of separating infants and young children from their what? Mother. For sure, the effects resulting from separating infants and young children from their mother, according to John Bowlby. Do you agree with that or not? Do you agree with John? Can you tell me, please, what do you think could be some of the consequences or effects of really separating infants and the younger ones from their mother? Think about the younger ones, the babies, and then mothers, and then those younger ones, they are now separated from their mothers. What do you think will be the end result? They want?
They want they want to grow healthy, like because their mother separated from them while they are young.
Mm.
There's no one to take care of them, like breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they want glow young. They want. You say they want.
They want to
They will never go glow well or health. Okay. All right.
majority will be slowly but sure, but not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Basically, growth and development takes place in the different avenues. In this case, think about somebody glowing emotionally. How will he glow emotionally if a mother is not there around for him or her? Or socially, how do you think one will glow socially? Remember, we're talking about mothers as primary caregivers. So, when they're young, you see they're being separated from their mothers. What do you think these, will end up suffering from for the virtue of being separated from their mothers. Intellectually as well, this will be affected. Yeah, will they grow health intellectually or cognitively, or once they are being separated from their mothers? Basically, the primary caregivers or anybody who is there around, um, who is there for the babies, they do help, the children to grow well socially, at the same time intellectually. When you speak to them, you take time speaking to the babies. Yes, to the babies, you help them think, you help them listen, you help them, yes, uh, explore their world. Mm. So basically, this could be some of the things for us to appreciate in relation to what John Bowlby is saying on the effects of separating infants and young children from their mother. I believe there are a number of effects, a number of consequences, a lot of them. Yes. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. In 1949, Bowlby's earlier work on delinquent and the affectionless children and the effects of hospitalized and institutionalized care led to his being commissioned to write the World Health Organization's report on the mental health of homeless children in post-war in Europe. The result was maternal care and mental health, published in 1951. Bowlby drew together such limited empirical evidence as existed at the time from across Europe and the US. His main conclusions that the infant and the young children should experience a warm, intimate, and continuous relationship with what? His mother, or in other words, a permanent mother substitute, in which both find satisfaction and enjoyment, and that not to do so may have significant and irreversible mental health consequences, were both controversial and then what? Influential. The 1951 WHO publication, that is the World Health Organization publication, was highly influential in causing widespread changes in the practices and prevalence of institutional care for infants and children, and in changing practices relating to the visiting of infants and small children in hospitals by parents. The theoretical basis was controversial in many ways. He broke with the psychoanalytic theories which saw infants' internal life as being determined by fantasy rather than real-life events. Some critics profoundly with the necessity for maternal love to function properly, or that the formation of an ongoing relationship with a child was an important part of parenting. Others questioned the extent to which his hypothesis was supported by evidence. There was criticism of the confusion of the effects of privation, and in particular, a failure to distinguish between the effects of the lack of a primary attachment figure and the other forms of deprivation and other stimulation that may affect children in institutions. In 1962, WHO publication, that is World Health Organization publication, once again in 1962, yeah, remove that particular figure, you should read 1962, who published Deprivation of Maternal Care, a reassessment of its effects, to which Mary Ainsworth, Bob's close colleague, contributed with his approval to present the recent research and developments and to address misapprehensions. This publication also attempted to address the previous lack of evidence on the effects of paternal deprivation. Bob's initial writings on maternal deprivation. Children's experiences of interpersonal relationships were crucial to their psychological development. According to Luther, the position of Bob's initial writings on maternal deprivation lay in his emphasis that children's experiences of interpersonal relationships were crucial to their psychological development. The monograph, in other words, an essay or article, in other words, or the paper, was also used for political purpose to claim any separation from the mother. Yeah, I think you stop over there. Okay. Let me stop here first of all. Yes, now let's look at the theory of maternal deprivation. Theory of maternal deprivation. This is a theory that was developed by John Bowlby. Bowlby proposed that continuous care and nurture from a mother is essential for a normal psychological development of babies and toddlers. That's his belief. That's Bowlby's belief. And I don't know in your case, is it really true that continuous care and nurture from a mother is essential for a normal psychological development of babies and toddlers? It's a question to
you. Yes.
Sure. Okay. The term nurture means what? Mm-hmm. That's one of the key words. Yeah.
Like taking care.
Taking care. Okay. Thank you so much. Taking care and nurture from a baby is essential for a normal psychological development of babies and toddlers. For babies and toddlers to develop psychologically, really continuous care and nurture from babies who are basically the primary caregivers. What is what needed. And he continued to say, prolonged separation from a mother causes serious consequences. That's John Babe in his theory. Prolonged separation from a mother causes serious consequences. What do you think these consequences could be if there is a prolonged separation from a mother? A child is not even being taken care of by the mother. What do you think could be the consequences of that? The baby is born. Let's take this as an example. Maybe he's a working class woman. So every morning she is leaving the baby home with somebody else, maybe take care of her or him. Herself, she's away for other businesses or work at the office. How will this, or could this child or children grow? What could be the result of this prolonged separation?
The growth. The growth development will be okay. The
Okay.
child will be growing,
Mm-hmm.
but will be not.
Okay.
Not
Anyway, can you find it for me, please, before we prolong? Find it for me. What um, the consequences of prolonged separation from the mother? Consequences of the babies or children being separated from a mother.
Yeah, by saying emotional distress,
Emotional distress. Okay.
anxiety, fear, and depression.
Anxiety,
Fear and depression.
fear, and depression.
Same emotional distress.
Okay.
Then attachment issues,
Mhm.
difficulty forming healthy relationships.
Difficult forming
Healthy
health
relationships.
relationships. All right.
Increased stress, elevated cortisol, affecting development.
Okay. Or what else?
Cognitive delays, language, social, and cognitive skill impairment.
Cognitive delays. Social and
Social,
you said social?
social, language, and cognitive skill impairment.
Thank you so much. Cognitive, language impairment. You know what? When you are basically, as I've said earlier on, when you are socializing with the babies, you help them to grow in different avenues of life. You help them to grow cognitively, or in other words, intellectually. You help them to grow socially. You help them to actually, yes, articulate uh, some words. You know, they learn from you. So if you're not there for them, then they end up developing some impairments. So I would encourage you to take note of those consequences which are there just because there is a prolonged separation of a baby or babies from their caregivers, primary caregivers or mothers. How many points are there?
There are
Have we,
10,
sorry?
10 of them.
10 of them. One. One,
Emotional distress,
emotional distress. Two,
attachment issues,
attachment issues. In that one, there's what and what?
difficulty forming healthy relationships,
Difficult forming health relationships. Okay.
then increased
So basically, the children will end up growing with those kind of difficulties of failing to form healthy what? Relationships. Okay? Wonderful. What else?
increased stress,
Increased stress. Increased stress.
behavioral problems,
Behavioral problems. Behavioral problems. Behavioral problems. Wonderful. What else?
cognitive delays,
Cognitive delays. Okay? And then
increased risk of abuse,
increased risk of abuse. Okay, what else?
uh, difficulty with emotional regulation,
Difficulty with emotional
regulation,
regulation.
lower self-esteem,
Lower self-esteem.
trust issues,
Trust issues.
and long-term psychological effects.
And long-term psychological issues. Okay. Can you have time to document those? Can you write them on the piece of paper? If you can find time for that, please do that, and can you share with me that? Can do that, please. Very much important. Separation versus deprivation. Remember, we are on the theory of John Bobes of deprivation. So here we have separation versus deprivation. What happens when the babies or mothers are separated from each other? Separation means the child is away from their primary attachment figure. In this case, think about your biological mother, or else the one who has been responsible, taking care of him or her as babies or as a baby while young. This figure becomes an issue for development if deprivation occurs. That is, if they lose an attachment of what? Care. Critical period. Bobes said the first 30 months of life are a critical period for psychological development. 30 months. How many years are these? 30 months? How many years are these? Anyway, in a year we have how many months? 12 months. So we're talking of 12 what? 2 years and what? Probably 6 months. Yeah. So Bob is saying this is a critical period for psychological development. If a child was separated or is separated from his or their mother or mothers and substitute care, and so deprived from her care for an extended period during the critical period, then the psychological damage was or is what? Inevitable. At this particular period, when a child is 2 years, 6 months, this is really a critical period for psychological development. Now the point is, if a child is separated from his or her mother and substitute care, and so deprived from her care for an extended period during the critical period, then the psychological damage is what? Inevitable. Effects on development. Intellectual development. Bobbe believes that maternal deprivation will cause delayed intellectual development, characterized by abnormally low IQ. That's according to Bobbe. All right? That's one of his beliefs, or Bobbe's beliefs, that the maternal deprivation really will end up causing drain what? Intellectual development. That kind of development, that is intellectual development, will be characterized by abnormal low IQ. This has been demonstrated in studies of adoption. Then emotional development. Emotional development, according to Bobbe believes that maternal deprivation would affect emotional development. Maternal deprivation, that is, if a mother is away from the children or from the child, the end result will be actually what? Emotional development being affected. A child will never grow well emotionally. Bobbe identifies affectionless psychopathy as the inability to experience guilt or strong emotions for others. This stops the person from forming normal relationships and is associated with criminal, criminality. Once again, this stops the person from forming normal relationships and is associated with criminality. What is Bobbe's theory of maternal deprivation? Here we want just to actually explore more facts on this theory we have seen. You have to know what is there in the or embedded in the theory of what? Of maternal deprivation. So this question basically is trying to make us explore more facts on in this particular theory of maternal deprivation. But the keywords have already been given to us. Let's have a look on this one. In this theory, number one, we're talking about separation and what? Deprivation, and then critical period, and then the effects on what? Development. Basically, these are the key words in this theory of maternal deprivation. Bobbe's theory of maternal deprivation proposes that a child's early separation from their primary caregiver, usually the mother, can have negative effects on their emotional and social and can lead to a range of issues such as attachment disorders, anxiety, and then what? Aggression. Bobbe's theory of maternal deprivation is an important topic in A-level psychology as it provides insights into the role of attachment in child development and has significant implications for understanding human relationships and the social functioning. Why is Bobbe's theory of maternal deprivation important? I think you should stop. Yeah, important. I think we need just to stop that. Stop. Yeah, get rid of this. Yes. Why is Bobbe's theory of maternal deprivation important? Well, Bobbe's theory of maternal deprivation is an important topic. Why? It provides insights into the role of attachment in development and has significant implications for understanding human relations and social functioning. Key concepts of Bobbe's theory of maternal deprivation. The key concepts of Bobbe's theory of maternal deprivation include the importance of early attachment, the concept of critical period for attachment formation, the distinction between separation and deprivation, and the role of social support in mitigating the effects of maternal deprivation. The potential long-term effects of maternal deprivation. The potential long-term effects of maternal deprivation can include attachment disorders, anxiety, and difficult forming health or close what? Relationships. That is the potential long-term effects of maternal deprivation. Any question?
Maternal deprivation. I say that it's the version of a mother to a child. So the question is, the separation, does it mean that, does it include death of a man? Does it?
I think because when a mother dies, basically there's a mother. When a mother dies, for sure, that attachment which was there between this baby left will not be there because her mother has died. Sure. Thank you. Good question. What else?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah. What else? I'm waiting for you. Any input?
questions.
Welcome. You have any question? Okay. You have joined us, and today we are talking something about maternal deprivation. You know this term, maternity. Yeah, so maternal. And this term, deprivation. Basically, by deprivation, we are looking at when deprivation, that's losing something. And if a child is separated from a mother, or a mother is separated from a child, there are things basically this child loses. It's because there is no attachment between him or her and the mother. Yeah, so we are here now. That's potential long-term effects of maternal deprivation. There's no attachment between a baby and a child. What do you think could be the long-term effects of maternal deprivation? So you are saying the potential longer-term effects of maternal deprivation can include attachment disorders. Basically, people we do suffer from disorders in one way or another, but mostly the babies or kids are the ones who end up being the victims of suffering from these disorders. So, in this case, if there is no attachment between mother and the child will end up suffering from what? Disorders. Not only that, then as well as anxiety, and then difficult forming close relationships. Okay, prior to this, we have tried to look at a theory, and in that theory, we have some keywords we have taken note of. And just know those. We will not repeat, but just know those keywords. That's a theory of maternal deprivation by John Bowlby. And we have looked at number one, separation versus deprivation. That's one of the keywords. And then the critical period. And then effects on development. These three, they are in the theory of maternal deprivation by John Bowlby. Okay, do you have an idea now? Yeah. What else do you think could be the consequences of long-term maternal deprivation? Or else, what do you think could be the potential long-term effects of maternal deprivation apart from attachment disorders, anxiety, and difficulty forming close relationships? What else do you think could be the consequences? You have a baby and you always leave your baby at home. You're always away from home. for other businesses. Maybe you are selling phones somewhere, the baby is at home, and you do that continually, without even having time for a baby. You can't even feed your baby yourself. Maybe you are a working class woman and you're always in your office. A baby is at home. What do you think could be the end result of this?
There will be no bond.
There will be no. Mhm. There will be no bond. Okay. Maternal deprivation can be prevented or mitigated by ensuring that children have secure attachment with their primary care giver. Maternal deprivation. How can we prevent maternal deprivation? So here is said, maternal deprivation can be prevented, or in other words, mitigated, by ensuring that children have secure attachment. There must be a bond with their primary care givers. And then providing social support. And then resources to families by intervening early if a separation or deprivation occurs. Please, any input on this one? I don't know if it makes sense to you. Got this, what I'm saying?
The separation between a mother and child can be prevented by ensuring that there is a close relationship between the mother and the child, providing the mother providing care support, resources.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. What else? Yeah.
Same as what you say.
Yes, maternal deprivation can be prevented or mitigated by ensuring that children have secure attachment. The way I look at this, when you're talking about maternal deprivation, it's not just a matter of looking at that separation, but also have to think of what a child was gaining as a result of secure attachment or bond with the baby. And as well, think of the consequences as well. As a result of lack of that particular secure attachment. So, you're talking here, as we first again, we're talking about providing social support and resources to families and as a means of what? Preventing or mitigating what? Okay, and then intervening early if separation or deprivation occurs. For example, we have talked about a mother dying, leaving a baby or a child. Really, intervention needs to be there because this baby was actually benefiting a lot from this primary caregiver who had just passed away. For a normal development in all avenues of life, basically the mothers, so primary caregivers need to be allowed and available for the babies. Now a mother has died. What should we do now? We should actually come up with early intervention that is such kind of deprivation has occurred. Let's look at what that this mother who has passed away was doing for a baby. He could feed the child. You know what? Through feeding or by feeding a child time and again, now you see an attachment developed. Okay? When we're praying the baby, socialize the baby, right? Hey, John, hey, that fat baby. How are you? Hello. Yeah, you are praying the baby. You so doing, you actually develop that secure attachment. And at the same time, the baby really, grows well, cognitively, socially, and in these other avenues of what? Development or domains of development. Just a minute.
Hey, how are you, sir?